What's up guys, it's Let Us Play here, and welcome back to part 3 of the Guild Wars Let's Play, where today we are going to be searing. We're going to be going through the searing, the mission that takes you from pre-searing Ascalon into the actual game world, like where you can explore the entirety of Tyria, which is, the Guild Wars continent. And these two people right here is Prince Rurik and Sir Titus. They're communicating about this char boss we're about to go fight in this mission that we're doing, and the reason we're going after him is basically he's a high-ranking officer in the char army. So he's south of the wall. He's probably just kind of scouting out the city and stuff like that. So we're going to take him down. I wanted to get a little bit more into the searing once we see... No, I can't do it once we see the boss because there's a cutscene right after we kill him, so I'll just get into it now. Following the searing, or not following the searing, just prior to the searing, the Char call forth a destructive power using the Cauldron of Cataclysm, which leads to an invasion known as the searing, which is what we're doing now. The Char Shaman who discovers and summons this powerful magical weapon is named Bonfaz Burntfur. I don't think we get to fight him until just a bit later in the story, but what happens is he finds a magic that is powerful enough to destroy the cities of Ascalon, Rin, and Sirmia. These are the three main cities of the whole region of Ascalon that I showed you guys before, where that big wall is. That whole human region those are the three major cities, and there's some smaller outposts here and there, but that's basically like going to the East Coast and destroying, like New York, Boston, and Philadelphia or something. That's like in that area, those are the three big cities. And they find a way to destroy parts of the Great Northern Wall, and the range of their attack spans from all the way, in the Charlands north of the wall, all the way down to what is known as, I have to open this up to remember the name, the Blaze Ridge Mountains, which is basically the bottom, the bottom, like part of the Ascalonian region, the bottom border, which divides it from the southern Shiver Peaks and the Crystal Desert. So we have a cutscene here. We just defeated Vatla Doomtooth, right? Yeah, so I'm just going to let this play out.
It was on that day that the Char discovered a way around the Great Wall, a way to bring it down. This is where the true story begins.
Alright. I don't know if you guys are ready. 2 years later, here we are. We're in where we started the game, right at the beginning in Ascalon City, but as you may notice, it looks a bit different. 2 years have passed since that cutscene, and this side of the continent of Tyria is under heavy warfare, and as you can probably see, it just really is not in the best shape. So we aggro some devourers here, so that's why we're fighting. But yeah, basically Ascalon has been in war with the Char for the past 2 years, and it's only Ascalon right now. Rin and Sirmia have both been destroyed, and Ascalon is the last big city remaining on the eastern part of the continent that the humans still control. They still control the very, very central part of the continent, which is known as Krita. They're not under too much stress in regards to warfare right now, but what you're going to be seeing for the next couple of minutes, not too long, is me buying some supplies, buying some gear. I buy a headpiece, and I buy the skill Flare, and that's all that really happens, which, now that I look back on it, buying Flare, I end up not even using it, like, in the near future, so it was kind of a bad buy. I wanted it instead of Firestorm and Pre-Searing because it's better, but you need to have your main class be Elementalist to have it in Pre-Searing, so I couldn't get it that way. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening in the city. We're going to be talking to a person called Ambassador Zane in just a second, and Ambassador Zane is from Krita, the other human nation, and she represents a group called the White Mantle, and or he, it's a guy. I thought it was a woman for a long time, but I recently found out it was a guy. So he has come to Ascalon as a representative of Krita to offer Krita's assistance. And as I mentioned in the previous video, Ascalon and Krita historically really don't like each other, but it seems like every official in Ascalon, apart from the king, is trying to accept the help of the Kritans, but ultimately it's the king's decision. So what happens is we become good friends with the king's son, Prince Rurik, who believes in, accepting the help of Ambassador Zane and the Kritans. So we accept this quest from War Master Titus, who gives us a lot of primary quests while we're in the region. This little bit is sped up because they talk, like you can see the speech bubbles above them, and I was trying to read it, and they just talk back and forth, and it took a much more time than I thought. So they both just mentioned the last guild war and how they've been enemies for so long, but they both are pushing it aside because there's a greater cause at stake than the two regions hate for each other. So there's a message we are delivering from the king, given to us by War Master Titus, that we're giving to Ambassador Zane, and it basically just says we reject your permission to enter the city and to help the people of Ascalon. We don't want your help, yada yada yada. This is from the king, and everyone else disagrees with the king. So we're going to accept this quest eventually here. I was reading it myself just to kind of get a bit of the lore, but Ambassador Zane offers some more quests, but they're both secondary quests. I accept one of them because it was really, really easy. We had to like map travel, talk to someone, and come back to her, but that happens later. We run to what is known as the Sardelac Sanitarium now, and this is the old Ashford Abbey, if you remember it. There's no one here. I don't believe that was here before. You can see that statue of Duena is completely destroyed, and but the reason for coming here, there really isn't much reason to come here in the like outside of this guy Visar giving you Mesmer quests. I think there's a necromancer trainer here who, if you have a necromancer as one of your professions, will give you quests. But basically, what it is, I accepted 2 secondary quests, so they're not important in regards to the story. Basically, if you want to know about the actual lore of the quests that he gave us himself, it's just these gargoyle boss and this hulking stone elemental boss. We're just kind of like troubling the city, and we have to get one of the rocks to prove that we killed him and kill the other guy, and then come back to him, and he teaches us some skills, one of which is a really, really nice skill, Chaos Storm. It's basically Firestorm, if you've been paying attention to how that skill works. If you're new to the game, you spawn a storm like where the target is, and it's an AoE like damage over time thing, and it can hit like 3 or 4 people if they're all standing next to each other. But this is the Mesmer version of it. Firestorm is the Elementalist version of it, and since I can train, Mesmer spells, it'll probably be more efficient to take this one. So I take the final secondary quest that Visar gives us. Oh, I didn't notice the lag there before, but It tells us to go talk to Master Ranger Nente because there's a person who's sick, and Master Ranger Nente, being good with, like his medicines and whatnot, gives us the cure, and we bring that to Visar, and we get Energy Burn, which I am going to use. It's a very, very high damage single target skill that takes away an opponent's energy and then does damage based on how much they lost. So we have two energy, like takeaway skills in Energy Burn and Ether Feast, so that's pretty nice. Here is Ellie Rigby. This is the secondary quest that I accepted from Ambassador Zane before, and I don't remember what it's about, to be honest. I didn't even read it. It's not that important to the main story, but we accept that, get some experience, and now we're back talking to War Master Titus, who gives us our next primary quest, and it's probably one of the easiest primary quests in the game. He is asking us to go to the Great Northern Wall, which is the nearest outpost to Ascalon City. And the Great Northern Wall, obviously is the wall separating the Char from the Ascalonians that they broke down. But there is now an outpost there to help try and defend it, and we are called upon to go to the outpost, and this is where the first mission of the game takes place. And so in the next episode, I'm going to be doing the Great Northern Wall mission, and will be the first mission of the series. You can see on the right there in the party formation the enter mission option, which hasn't been there before. So missions aren't exactly like quests. They're entirely instanced. They're not like you run outside into the open world and then talk to someone and then come back to the guy who gave you the quest and you get the reward. It's like instance. But that'll be it for episode 3, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Let Us Play It. I'll catch you guys next time.